Good morning this morning. Well, got up, first full night of sleep in a long, long time. And I'd already loaded a load of trilliums on my truck on Wednesday to haul them to the uh, waste dump here. They have a dump specifically for that. And they grind it all up and make mulch out of it. They burn the unusable parts, and it's just for yard waste. No trash of any kind can go there. So I got through with that, and I know I got to clean the house up today. It's pretty nasty. My youngest daughter is down till Wednesday, I think it was, or last weekend. She was here till then. She was here about 10 days. Let me tell you, that little girl can make one hell of a mess. Like most teenage girls, she's just turned 15 on the 11th. She's mostly a child, but she's beginning to take the steps to be an adult, but she doesn't realize the responsibility that comes along with that. So I got out this morning and hauled them tree limbs and stuff off the dump. Dropped by my local grocery store. And I decided that overnight, I'm going to cook my good old country meal I grew up on. And I went and bought me some pinto beans. Now, I'm not cooking the whole 2 pounds. I'm cooking 1 pound. We'll add some liquid hickory smoke and some salt pork. And your first step in cooking beans is you gotta lay them on your counter, make sure there's no rocks in there and all that good stuff, and you get all the really bad pieces of beans out of the portion you're going to cook. Once you've got all the stuff separated, you take a sieve like this, pour them in there, clean them all up real good, get all the dirt off of them, because there's still some dirt sometimes when you get them from your local store, and they come packaged mostly in plastic bags. Sometimes you get them in cloth bags. Now it looks like my chorizo's about ready to add eggs to. This is some big old chunky Texas style chorizo. Not mushy like a lot of it you're going to buy. So got a whole pound in there. And my way of cooking chorizo is, for every half pound of chorizo, I use 2 eggs. So I've got a whole pound in a frying pan. I'll add 4 eggs to it, scramble it all together. And I have my frying pan here with my tortillas. Just a tiny little bit of lard, manteca, if you're so inclined to the Spanish language instead of English. So these chorizo and eggs will last me about 3 days. Once I've eaten me 1 or 2 helpings of it. I'm just going to do 2 this morning, which will be more than enough to feed me all day. Get them all scrambled together here. So I like flour tortillas, and I don't know if you've ever made tortillas. Most Americans probably have not. But it's a real simple mixture. Lard, flour, salt if you like a little salt. You mix it all together. You add just tiny amounts of water as needed. You make you a fairly hard dough. You want it to be slightly moist. You don't want it to be runny like a pancake batter. Yep. So cut my beans off. I've got them in a boil. I don't want to burn them. But all I'm doing is shocking them. And these pinto, you shock them. You get the water started in there. Cut it down to low. Stir them up so they don't get burnt or scorched on the bottom. Really simple. Stir them up. I want them to start soaking in that water. And I want their moisture content to be really crazy high. You want them to start that process to where they're, I call this beginning cooking. I'm sure that there's a word for it. Everybody has. Let me find this one. Alright. This is going to be about the right consistency. I like them. Chorizo and eggs. Like mine fairly dry. I don't want runny, greasy chorizo and eggs. Alright, it's looking pretty dadgum good for breakfast. Like I say, this will last me till like Monday morning. Leftover breakfast. Thank God for Ziploc bags and containers and refrigerators and microwaves. Sure makes life a lot easier than having to crank up a big old stove every morning. So anyway, got my beans all shocked without scorching them. Got my fire turned down to low. Alright, they done doubled in size, boy howdy. Yeah, it's looking pretty good. And go ahead and cut that off. Turn my tortillas again. When they get warm, I'm ready to eat breakfast. So, what I do, and I guess it's just a family thing, everybody's going to have their own little family way of doing things, is, so we're going to soak up these beans all day long, and before I go to bed tonight, I'll put them in my great big old crock pot. I got a whole big old crock pot over there. Christmas gift from a few years back. I think I've used it maybe twice a year. And what I'm going to do with those beans is they've been soaking all day. They've soaked up all the moisture they can. They've grown good. And I've got this long grain and wild rice. Really tasty. And I'll put that whole pound of salt pork, this whole pound of beans, I'll put in some couple of ounces of liquid hickory smoke, because I like really smoky flavored beans. And I'll put them in the crock pot on low, and while I sleep tonight, they'll be cooking. By noon tomorrow, I'll start cooking my jalapeno cornbread. Good stuff. Completely homemade. I make it from scratch. I don't like the store-bought stuff. Just doesn't rise like homemade does. And I like mine to be big, thick, fluffy cornbread. You know, when you're doing cornbread, what you'll find is you need your baking soda, of course. Doesn't that look good? Trees on eggs on a flour tortilla. Already drank 2 cups of coffee this morning. So I take these beans, the salt pork, the liquid hickory smoke, put them in my big crock pot, set them on to cooking on low overnight. And right around 11:30 tomorrow, I will take a cup of rice and throw in there. Then by noon, I'll have a great big pot of hickory smoked pinto beans and rice. And at 11:30, I'm also going to mix up all my cornbread, throw my jalapenos in it, throw some cheese in it, pop it in the oven, and by the time the beans and rice are ready, the cornbread is ready. Now, and while we're doing that, we're going to have our big old tea kettle up here on the dadgum stove. And we're going to make some sweet iced tea to eat with it. That's going to be my Sunday dinner. And that'll be my, and I ate dinner at noon. I ate supper at night. That's some pretty good stuff right there. Chorizo and egg. Hard to beat for breakfast, boys and girls. Now, like I say, I'm going to let these soak till bedtime tonight. But cut the heat off. They're well covered. I don't have to worry about them. Nature will take care of nature. All right, whoa. So I've got some carrots, some baby carrots. And I'm seriously thinking about, once I get this pot cleaned up, I'm going to set everything up. These are, let me show you the baby carrots. These little fellers here. Yeah, just pieces of carrots. And I just like eating those. Pretty good for you. And I'll set them on a low roll. I get up in the morning. Put the stove on 1 or 2. Let them boil up. Get really soft. About 30 minutes for my meal, my noon meal tomorrow, my dinner. I will drain all the water off those carrots. I'll take my potato masher for making mashed taters. I'll mash those carrots. I'll add just a tiny pinch of salt. And then I'll take cinnamon and make me a blanket over, a light blanket. And then I'll start stirring. And I'll get a half a cup of sugar or so. And just add to it until I get the taste and flavor I want. And that'll be my dessert for tomorrow. And you can go ahead and add pumpkin spice to that. And just do cinnamon and sugar. Heck, you can even make a pie out of carrots. Ooh. Boy, howdy. Wow. That's my cooking plans for the weekend. That'll take me all the way to Wednesday probably with food I can take out of the fridge, put it in the microwave, heat it up, have a nice hot meal, breakfast, dinner, and supper. Yeah. Ain't no wonder I'm a fat boy. Took me my whole life to get this beautiful round shape. Hope y'all enjoy your weekend. I got a lot of cleaning, cooking to do, as you can see. Already cleaned off the back drive and patio and hauled the limbs off. I got to get out and do a little bit of mowing. The grass isn't growing anymore, but it's shooting up seed tops. And what's putting on the seeds this time of year is weeds. Now, if you can keep them knocked down, you don't got nothing to worry about as far as many weeds coming up in your yard as possible the next spring. Anyway, y'all have a nice day. Have a good weekend. Take care of yourself. And remember, if you're working, your mind ain't got time for foolishness. So we'll see y'all next time. Bye.